Yeongdo, Busan. History has failed us, but no matter. At the turn of the century, an aging fisherman and his wife decided to take in lodgers for extra money. Both were born and raised in the fishing village of Yeongdo, a 5-mile wide islet beside the port city of Busan. In their long marriage, the wife gave birth to 3 sons, but only Huni, the eldest and the weakest one, survived. Huni was born with a cleft palate and a twisted foot. He was, however, endowed with hefty shoulders, a squat build, and a golden complexion. From 1910, when Huni was 27 years old, Japan annexed Korea. The fisherman and his wife, thrifty and hardy peasants, refused to be distracted by the country's incompetent aristocrats and corrupt rulers who had lost their nation to thieves.
훈이와 양진이 사랑으로 키운 외동딸 선자는 유부남의 아이를 임신하게 되지만 목사 이삭을 만나 결혼하고 일본 오사카로 떠난다. 오사카에서 선자는 조선인이자 여성으로서 온갖 차별과 멸시를 견디며 자신과 가족을 지켜낸다. 소설은 선자와 그녀의 아들 노아와 모자수 그리고 손자 솔로몬으로 이어지는 제일 한국인 가족 4대의 고난과 회복을 이야기한다.
I wanted to write a book about the Korean Japanese people. I wanted to write about them since I was in college. I learned about them when I was in college. In 2007, my husband got a job in Japan. So we go to Japan, and I figured, oh, well, I'm in Japan anyway. Maybe I should think about that book. And then I started to meet all these Korean Japanese people. I went to all these different places. And then I realized that they're so much more interesting than my book. My book was so boring. And I started to do research. I started to talk to all these Koreans in Japan, and they always talked about the first generation and about all the difficult things they suffered through. Sanja is a character that came from me living in Japan. I went to the markets, and I read this one diary of a woman. They're describing how, because she's a mother and she has no childcare, so she put a rope around the child's waist so the child could move. And then in order to do jangsa, but what choice does she have? And it made me so, it makes you angry, but at the same time you think, I really admire you. Right, they must be remembered and recorded and documented and admired. I think we have to admire their courage. Her first day of selling took place 1 week after Ishak was jailed. After Sanja dropped off Ishak's food at the jail, she wheeled a wooden cart holding a large clay jar of kimchi to the market. The open-air market in Ikaino was a patchwork of modest retail shops, selling housewares, cloth, tatami mats, and electric goods. It had hosted a collection of hawkers like her who peddled homemade scallion pancakes, rolled sushi, and soybean paste. "You can't stink up our area," the older of the two cracker sellers said. "Go to the other side." She pointed to the fish section. She kept walking until she couldn't see any more ajumas and ended up near the train station entrance where the live chickens were sold. She wiped her face with her sleeves, trying to remember what the best market ajumas would do back home. Kimchi. Delicious kimchi. Try this delicious kimchi and never make it at home again, she shouted.
이카이노는 만들어지지 말았어야 할 마을이라고 할 수 있었다. 서로 어울리지 않는 초라한 집들이 들어서 있었고 판잣집들은 하나같이 조잡한 자재로 지어져 있었다. 요셉의 집에서 그리 멀지 않은 현관 계단에서는 작은 아이가 똥을 누고 있었다. 여기는 돼지와 조선인만 살 수 있는 곳이야. 일본인들은 우리한테 괜찮은 부동산을 빌려주지 않아. 파친코는 일본에서 가장 대중적인 성인용 게임이다. 쇠구슬이 핀 사이로 내려오며 내는 소리, 파친에서 유래됐다는 파친코. 한때 수백조 원 규모로 번성했던 파친코는 제일 한국인을 대표하는 산업이다.
The reason why it's called pachinko is because every interview that I did, somebody in their family worked in pachinko. And I said, why? Why does everybody work in pachinko? Even if the person didn't work in it, like an uncle worked in it, a brother, a father, somebody. And they said, well, because the men, they wouldn't hire them. The laws were so unfair. And my novel is not about pachinko, the game, or the industry. The Korean Japanese have to play a very unfair game of life. When you gamble, you're almost always going to lose. And I realized that the Korean Japanese people were in a situation in which they're almost guaranteed to lose.
선자의 아들 모자수는 파친코 사업으로 돈을 번다. 명문대를 다녔던 아들 노아마저도 결국은 파친코장에서 일을 하게 된다. 게임은 실패할 확률이 높지만 희망을 가지고 이길지 모른다는 터무니없는 일말의 가능성이라도 믿어보는 것이 인생이라고 작가는 말한다.
even though life is unfair. Because I think it's so insensitive to tell a person who has an unfair life, just ignore it. Just do whatever. You just have to keep going. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm going to tell you it's unfair. And you might lose, but I still want you to play. Please don't give up. And I think that's why I wanted to make this the organizing metaphor.
제1한국인은 지문 날인을 강요받았고 외국인 등록증을 가지고 다녀야 했다. 취업도 제한됐다. 그들은 차별과 배제 속에 살았다. 그럼에도 저항했고 이겨냈고 살아남았다.